Florida Tropics. My name is Sonia Vaquero, and I'm your host today on behalf of the South Florida Tropical Fruit Growers. We're here today to discuss, have a series of discussions of Florida-grown tropical fruits. Today we're going to feature the sapodilla. Sapodilla is a local tropical fruit that Mr. Roberto Perez, here with us today, our lovely guest, is here to talk to us a little bit about it. Welcome, Roberto. How are you?
Hi, how are you, Sonia?
Great. Roberto, please talk to us a little bit about the sapodilla. No, actually, first of all, I want to talk about a little bit about you. I'm sorry. Why don't you give us a little bit about, a little background on yourself? How did you get into growing tropical fruits? What is your background in the nursery business? Things
well,
like that.
I have been growing tropical fruit for the past 20 years, and sapodilla is one of them. One of the I grow all these things besides sapodillos. I grow mameys, lychees, and longangs, etc. Okay. But I have a special interest in sapodillos because they, I think it's going to be a very good fruit to grow here in South Florida, and very popular, and we're really very excited about them.
Do you have a grove? How many acres of sapodillos?
I have 7 acres of sapodillos.
Okay.
And we are planning to plant some more.
Okay.
Because the price is real good and the fruit is coming along very good, and it's been very popular.
Okay. And do you provide this fruit to some of the local commercials?
Yes, we sell to, most of our fruit goes out to north, like New York, Boston, and Georgia, mainly to the Oriental community.
Yes, yes, I see that. Let's talk a little bit about the sapodilla, some of its characteristics that it has. We have some fruit with us here today to show you what a sapodilla looks like. Can you please explain to us a little bit about that?
Yes, the sapodilla, they call it the Latin pear.
Okay.
It's very sweet. It has some maybe 6, 7 black seeds inside. The flesh is very sweet, and it's been very popular in the Latin community, and I think it's going to be very, very popular in the rest of the population in the United States. Delicious fruit, really.
Yes, and it's a very versatile fruit. Not only in desserts, you could use it in desserts. I mean, it's edible, straight, fresh.
You can eat it straight fresh. You can make jelly with it. They make juices with it, and it's really delicious. And the tree, it's not very difficult to grow.
No.
It's very easy. You only need to. We fertilize the tree like 3 or 4 times a year. We spray for fungus maybe twice a year, and that's about it. It's very easy to grow.
And what is the seasonality on this fruit?
Okay, we usually, this particular one came from Venezuela. I call it RP number 1 and RP number 2. And we usually pick them during the month of November, some December, and even some February, some of them too. So it's, they're different from other varieties.
Okay.
That's what is good about this one that I brought here today.
Okay, so this grows right here in our backyards.
Right here in South Florida, in the Homestead Redland area, and they're very easy to grow. They adapt themselves to the soil that we have here.
Okay.
And
does it need a lot of water? I mean,
not really. They're very easy to grow. They need water maybe twice a week.
Okay.
And that's about it.
Okay. And Roberto, do you know some of the nutritional value of this fruit?
It's got a lot of vitamin C.
Okay.
And vitamin A. And that's what I heard that it's got the most.
Yes.
But I know it's got to have some more We have to make some more research about them.
Well, the tropical fruit growers of South Florida have conducted a nutritional analysis on these tropical fruits, and much to our surprise, I mean, some of them we knew they were going to be very high in some of these antioxidant and
That's what they
levels.
say,
However, most of our fruits have just been that very, very rich in all these nutritions and vitamins and everything. So
yes.
it's very great for us to have this right here in our backyards. It's available, and it's great for us. So
It is.
now also we have just to give the viewers a little bit how a fruit should look. We brought a wonderful tree here, and this is how your sapodilla tree looks. It looks very you know, just like a ordinary type of tree, but these will make some these type of fruits. And where do they, are they on the actual branches, or they
Usually
hang?
this is how they come. They hang from right here, from this
From
branches,
the ends, okay.
right at the end of the branch.
Okay,
That's how they look.
okay, because some of our viewers might have this in our backyards and they don't even know if it's edible or if it's something that we, you know,
Right.
we can eat. But very good. And are you a first generation?
Yes, I'm the first generation,
Okay.
and
Well,
growing.
you're doing very, very well growing all these tropical fruits. We had the privilege of, I had the privilege of interviewing one of our top local chefs, Chef Alan Sussert, right here in Aventura. And we sat down and talked a little bit more about the sapodilla. Let's take a look at that.
Right.
Exciting. So what are we going to cook with today? What do we have in store today?
Well, we've got some sapodilla, which
Sapodilla.
is, yeah, it's a wonderful tropical fruit. I've got it over here. Let me just bring it over and take a look.
Oh, this is different.
These are. They're sort of round oval with a little bit elongated, large and small. And these also sort of a rough brown skin to them. And what you want to do is let them soften a little bit to ripen. And here, smell that. It's just a wonderful sort of custardy, cinnamon, citrusy pear flavor coming out of it. And you can see as
This is one
we've
opened?
opened, yes, we've opened that one up.
Very nice.
And it has a little bit of a seed in it, and you want to take out the seed, and you want to take off the skin from it when you're utilizing it. But it's very easy to use because it's got big flavor.
And it's going to stay this color. It's not changing inside. It's just a
No,
brown.
it'll have this sort of creamy caramel sort
Okay.
of color, and that's the kind of the flavor that you have with this. It has
like
that sort of caramelly, rich
brown
sweetness.
sugar almost.
Brown sugar.
Like a nut, yeah.
Yes.
I smell it.
So you know,
Excellent.
with this, I'm actually going to do a yellowtail snapper. Yellowtail snapper is a wonderful local fish, beautiful white flesh. I'm going to saute that with the sapodilla as well as pecan butter, doing a brown pecan butter, so that what's going to happen, you'll have the wonderful sweet textures from the fruit as well as the lush from the fish, and then brown butter from the pecans, developing a depth of flavor, and so that you really have 3 dimensions of flavor going on the plate with that.
I understand. And a quick question, do you find that it's a little more challenging using the tropical fruits opposed to the traditional fruits, a pineapple or a strawberry or things like that?
Traditional fruits are great. Everybody eats them. They're very comfortable with them. Most of the Americans that have grown up with traditional fruits like that. Tropical fruits are something new to a lot of Americans. They're not new at all to most of the world. Most of the world's population grows and breathes these fruits. For American cooks, they are new and different. But all you need to do is cut it open and try it. They're not easy. They're not hard to approach, I should say.
Okay.
They're tremendously easy to cut into. Usually they have a custardy flavor, aromatics, big flavors that will work with a host of dishes. I use it for shrimp, with lobster, with snapper, chickens. They all blend very well with the flavors, and they give you a nice, very easy depth to your cooking.
Okay, I think that's important because many people might approach these and say, you know, be a little hesitant to use that, and the contrary, they are
Right,
very easy and to use and to incorporate into your dishes.
You're right. I think the aromatics will draw people in because they're not bright and pretty like strawberries, so that you don't have the color appeal to your eye. But the smells, the aromatic ambrosia, that tropical flavor is just wonderful, and that's what you want.
Much more depth, as you said, than opposed to a strawberry or things like that. This is
right, and we're getting them here in South Florida, grown locally, used locally. So you've got tree-ripened fruit. You've got them direct from the farmer. They're coming to the fruit stands. They're coming to the local supermarkets, and so you've got great tree-ripened fruit, and that makes all the difference in the world.
Definitely does. So let's purchase our Florida fruit right here in our backyard. Some of us might be growing some of these things, and we don't even know what it is.
Yeah, you're right. There are a lot of backyard tropical fruit trees out there, and a lot of people have them, and they give them away. Say, "Oh, I don't know what to do." Well, try it. Try it. Give it. You know, take a look at your neighbor's yard. Maybe pluck a couple also, and have fun with it. It's easy to use.
Great. I'm so excited. Let's go back there and check this out.
Okay, let's go cook some yellowtail snap with the sapadilla.
Thanks. Let's go.
Okay.
Hi, welcome back to Taste of Florida Tropics. My name is Sonia Vaquero, and here today we are with Mr. Roberto Perez, and he is the owner of Greenland Tropical Nursery. We are talking today about the sapadilla. The sapadilla is a Florida-grown tropical fruit right here in the Redlands area. And Greenland Tropical Nursery is as well located right here in the Homestead area. And we were talking a little bit about our tropical fruits. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Chef Alan, where we discussed as well some more of the tropical fruits and its attributes. I wanted to ask Roberto one more question. The tropical, this sapadilla, how do we know it's ready? What is the shelf life that we can expect from this fruit?
Okay, this is how we do it. We come to the fruit and we scratch it a little bit. If you see that the green is too intense, it's not ready to pick. If you see that it's kind of light brown, it's ready to pick it. Now, after you pick the fruit, it's going to take at least 4 days before it gets soft and ripe and ready to eat.
Okay.
4 or 5 days.
Now, if you want to accelerate that maturing time, I know that you can put it in a dark place or in a brown paper bag that would accelerate that.
Usually that's what they do. You can put it in a brown paper bag.
Okay.
Or put it in the oven, and you can accelerate. Instead of 4 or 5 days, it would probably be ripe in 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
But you have to make sure when you pick the fruit, make sure it's not green. You have to scratch it, and it makes sure it's not green.
Okay, so we don't wait till it falls on the floor.
Exactly. You don't wait until it falls on the floor.
Okay, great. This tropical fruits, not only are we supporting our local farmers and our local growers right here in South Florida, we're also helping our economy. It's very important that we support our local economy and that we purchase Florida-grown tropical fruits. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey, kid, what's shaking? Besides me.
Dad! There's something wrong with the fridge!
What? Ooh, a snack.
Got energy hogs in your house? Now you have the power to do something about them. Log on to energyhog.org. Because nobody likes an energy hog.
Hey, they got Charlie! Yeah, who cares?
Now there's a drug available all across America.
Ecstasy changed my life.
Ecstasy is not for everyone. In fact, it's not for anyone. New studies show that ecstasy is toxic to the body. Side effects may include depression, severe anxiety, hypertension, heat stroke, seizures, heart attacks, liver damage, kidney or cardiovascular system failure, worried parents, loss of friends, isolation, emptiness.
Ecstasy changed my whole life.
Ask your doctor and see why ecstasy isn't right for you.
Hi, welcome back to Taste of Florida Tropics. I hope you're enjoying our segments of tropical fruit discussions that we have. Today we're talking about the sapodilla, and we just finished, Roberto had just finished explaining to us a very key tip on growing this fruit and what we need to look for when we pick it off the fruit. We don't let it fall on the floor, is that correct?
Right.
Okay, so we got to pick it off the tree and scratch it and look for that. What color?
Scratch it, make sure it's not green.
Not green.
That is kind of light brown, like the color of the skin.
Okay.
When it gets like that, that's the time to
pick it off.
Yep, yeah.
Okay, excellent. And then at that point, we can take it in, we can store it in a nice, maybe a
paper bag
or dark place
right.
for it to mature.
In a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, it's going to be ripe and ready to eat.
You're going to feel a nice
When it gets kind of soft,
okay.
That's the time to eat.
Excellent. Okay, now let me ask you one thing. Some of the challenges in growing this, I know living in South Florida, the weather is a big factor. We have to prepare when we have those hurricanes, as we're all aware. What is something that we need to prepare with this tree? What can we do if something like that happens?
Well, if we expect an hurricane, the best thing to do is if the tree is really big, you can trim it back.
Okay.
That's the best thing you can do. And the sapodilla tree is very strong. The branches are very strong.
Okay.
So that's the only thing you can do. Just cut back some of the big branches.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's excellent. And also another thing is, I know there's so many pests out there, and this is something that growers are always trying to keep up with the latest fertilizer, keeping up to all the standards. What is there a pest that is susceptible, this fruit is susceptible to?
Yes, there's some scales that attack the sapodilla tree. For that, you can spray with oils. And there's another problem that we have with the Caribbean fly.
Okay.
It's we spray. You really have to spray with some insecticide to get rid of them.
Okay.
That's the only 2 problems we have so far.
All right. Excellent. We will keep up with that, and let's take a look at Chef Allen in the kitchen where we are cooking with this sapodilla.
Welcome to my kitchen at Chef Allen's. Pleasure to have you in here. I want to share some secrets of cooking with tropical fruits, Florida's tropical fruits that is, along with just some wonderful flavors I like to match with that. Today we're going to match up some local fish, yellowtail snapper, along with some sapodilla, which is a wonderful tropical fruit that we grow here in South Florida. This sapodilla actually originated thousands of years ago in the Yucatan Peninsula. It's very prevalent throughout the Caribbean basin, but we grow them here in Florida and they're wonderful. Lots of wonderful, lush ripeness to the fruit. As we take a look at it, it almost, you can see from the coloration, sort of like a custardy, cinnamon flavor, great aromatic. As I cut this open, I could smell it. And that smell is wonderful. We want to use that flavor, that lushness, that tropical flavor that's going to permeate from the fruit in cooking as well. These tropical fruits are wonderful, eating out of hand, eating in salads, putting them very simply for desserts, but I love to cook with them. That's what I have fun here at Chef Allen's with, matching up the flavors. So I wanted to match the sapodilla, which is a Florida fruit, to a Florida seafood. What we're going to do is, we've got a beautiful yellowtail snapper. Okay, here the yellowtail snapper, wonderfully fresh snapper. It's a white flesh fish, comes in from the Keys. This is a very delicate flavor, so I want to match the nice flavors of the sapodilla, which is lush, citrusy aromatics that are behind there with the fish, which is going to work wonderfully. So we're going to take a look at that in just a moment. First, let's look at the sapodilla, because what we want to do is be able to cut this open, and there's a nice little seed in there that we're just going to remove, as well as a little bit of a very thin flesh. Very easy to do. And that's one thing I want to point out about cooking with Florida tropical fruits, is that they're very easy to use at home. They're very approachable, big flavors. When you have an ingredient that has a big flavor, that has wonderful, lush tropical fruit, you're able to put that flavor into your cooking. And by using those flavors in your cooking, it's sort of like having a tropical vacation on your plate when you're adding these flavors. So the sapodilla works very well in that sort of fashion. So I'm just going to peel these nice fleshy sapodilla into that we're going to use for the yellowtail snapper. So this we're going to discard. So what I've done is taken the snapper fillet, a fillet meaning that I've removed the skin as well as the bone from it. So you can do this, I like to use yellowtail snapper. You can do this dish with almost any kind of flat-fleshed fish. If you want to use mahi-mahi, dorado, very flexible. I think with cooking, you have to have flexibility for the marketplace. Using the sapadilla in season, using the fresh fish in season, that makes the flavors come alive, and that's when it's really wonderful. So we're going to season, to cook the fish, I'm going to use a seasoned flour, using a little bit of nutmeg into the flour. I've got a flour mixture, a little bit of hot paprika. Okay, so a little bit of spice to it with the hot paprika and a touch of thyme. Okay, these flavors I feel bring out the flavor in the fish as well as going to match really well with our sapadilla. So here I'm just going to mix that seasoned flour. Very simple to do. And then I've got some milk that we're going to put here. Okay, so the simple process whenever you're seasoning a fish like this is first season the fish, a little fresh cracked pepper and salt, and going to take that and put it into the milk. Okay, just let that sit for a few moments while we make sure that our pan is getting hot. Okay, from there, I'm going to take it and put it into the seasoned flour. Real simple. You don't want a thick crust on it from the flour. You just want it to be nicely seasoned and coated very easily. So we've got the fish coming over here to our saute pan. Put in our olive oil. And when I use a pan with a fish, what I like to do, there's a skin side and a fleshy side. I like to put the fleshy side down into the pan first. Make sure you preheat the pan nicely so that it's not going to stick. One of the challenges of cooking with fresh fish is it will stick if you don't make sure that the pan is hot. So that's what we're looking at with the fish. The fish cooks very quickly. When I just want to talk about cooking with tropical fruits, our Florida tropical fruits, what you need to do is sort of balance the sweetness and the acidity. Okay, cooking with fruits, there's a natural sweetness to the fruit. The sapadilla has a wonderful sweetness to the flesh. It has a little bit of acidity. And so that when you're cooking and matching flavors, you have to recognize when you're cooking with the sauce, with the garnish, with the textures that we're going to do, we're going to add the sapadillas with pecans and butter and make this a really wonderful brown butter pecan and sapadilla glaze for the snapper. But then we're going to add a little acidity because we have to balance that out. It's like cooking with a wine. There's sometimes you cook with a dry white wine and you're considering the acidity that's going to balance and bring up the flavors. So for this snapper, what we do is just as it starts to brown, we're going to take it and flip it over. Okay, so we got some wonderful color going on to that snapper. I'm going to let that start to cook on the other side. We've got a little bit of pecans that I want to brown in the pan at the same time. So pecans are going to go in along with a little bit of whole butter, which is going to brown. The mixture of the olive oil and butter works really nicely to give us some great flavors going along with that. So those are going to cook for a moment. Now back to our sapadilla. What I want to do is have some nice long wedges of it. So just taking this, sort of cutting it open, and as you can see what I'm doing is just cutting nice slices of that sapadilla. Wonderful lush fruit. So as this pecan is browned nicely and the fish is getting cooked, I'm going to add in the sapadilla to that so that we've got a little bit of sweet nuts with the aromatics of the sapadilla. We don't want to cook it too much, but these wonderful flavors are going to come out in the cooking of it. So as that finishes on the stovetop, it does not take long to cook that. what we're going to do is finish that up on the plate. What we want to add in is a little bit of cilantro to this. Bring up that earthiness. Also, you'll see some textural, as well as balancing out the acidity. As I was suggesting before, you want to balance the acidity, the sweetness and the acidity, which is going to make it a lot more interesting in flavors. So we're going to add a little bit of lime juice into this dish as it finishes cooking. So our sapadilla snapper with pecan butter really takes very simple to cook. I'm going to take the snapper out and put that on the pan. Then just with the sapadilla, going to and pecans over the top. Plate that very nicely. So it's a real easy dish. Lots of wonderful flavors coming from the big lush flavors of the tropical sapadilla. This is a great Florida dish. The yellowtail snapper, the sapadilla, tropical fruits from Florida. It's great, it's easy, it's all accessible, it's here in Florida. Come and enjoy it.
Hi, welcome back to Taste of the Florida Tropics. We just finished seeing that wonderful cooking with Chef Allen. Hope you enjoyed that recipe. Not only is it quite easy, as you saw, that recipe is extremely delicious, and it can be found on our website. All this information can be found on our website at tropicalfruitgrowers.com if you want to check us out for so much growing tips, nutritional information, as well as information on the organization, Tropical Fruit Growers of South Florida. And today we had our guest, Mr. Roberto Perez, which is the owner of Greenland Tropical Nursery. He was so nice enough to join us today and speak to us about the sapadilla, and gave us some very interesting tips and helpful hints on how to grow this fruit, how to pick it, and how to prepare for some of the challenges that we might have with some of the pests and things like that. We also have a wonderful DVD that speaks about a lot of the tropical fruits that are grown here in South Florida. So please check us out, go to our website, get that recipe, cook it, and ask for your sapadilla when you go to your local grocers. Thank you for joining us, and please come back and see us on our next segment of Tropical Fruits. Thanks.